Welcome to another wonderful episode of Margaux. I'm Margaux with Margaux, and I'm your host, Margaux Monet. How was your day today? How was your Tuesday? Did you get a lot of things done in your quarantine? Did you plant something? Did you cook something? Did you read a bedtime story to your children? What did you do that was fun for you and that was great for your family to bring you closer together? Because that's what I'm finding. What's interesting about this whole quarantine is the ability for us to be together, love each other, and make it work. I like to toast to you, my guest. Today is Tuesday, April 7th. Thank you for joining me. We'll go ahead and have a little bit of a sip. Simply divine. Oh my God, that was wonderful. I haven't had dinner yet, so I just took a quick little sip, and but I will have dinner later. So that's just like a little tease, and then I'll have dinner, and then I'll finish it up with my wine. So you're probably wondering, boy, she drinks a lot of Margaux. Perhaps there's some truth to that. Not as much as you would think. Sometimes I have a half a glass, a little bit of a glass, but not ever too much, just a little bit. And so it's fun and it's interesting. So we'll go ahead and get started on the news, okay? When I started this show 5 weeks ago, I had no idea I'd be talking about coronavirus every single day, but here we are. It's affected all of us. We're indoors, we're here, and here we go. So, first off, I'd like to say I'm sorry to hear about the number of people passed away today. It is quite astonishing of the brutality and the scope of this pandemic. Never in my lifetime thought I'd be a part of a pandemic at all whatsoever, but my heart and soul go out to the people who, of course, family members who've had people in their family pass away. I'm also quite saddened about the people who, of course, have coronavirus. I wish you a speedy recovery. I'm sure everybody's watching. We're sending you good love, wonderful thoughts. We want you to get better. We want you to get better. I know you're probably scared and frightened, but you have a lot of people here that are cheering from you, that are watching the show. We just want to send you those loving prayers and thoughts. Also, have you guys been watching the coronavirus presidential update that he does every day? Isn't it quite interesting? I don't know what to say, but it really is great TV. If you really want to see drama behind the White House, tune in to the White House briefing that's every day, because you feel as though it's a show, but there's more going on. I don't want to say show like in TV show, but you just know there's a lot more going on underneath the surface. I recommend watching and taping the show, even if you can't see the full 2 hours, just see the first 20 minutes or whatever. Because what I'm finding is I'll watch it and then I'll read articles, and it's not the same as actually being there and watching it live. So I recommend recording it, seeing it later, maybe just 15. It quite extensive. It is 2 hours. It's quite a long time. Now, this is some truth that came out a week ago. I don't know if this is the case, and this is something you guys can actually look up. It says the White House will pay the hospital bill of coronavirus patients. I don't know how that will work. I guess they're going to send a check to the hospital. I don't know any new news on that. I'll look out for it. If I get anything else, I certainly will share all that information to you. Another big news story that's coming out is this malaria drug that's used to treat malaria. It's an antiviral drug. It is hydroxychloroquine. I love the name. It's becoming more and more familiar because it's all over the media. The president touted it probably about 2 weeks ago as being a way to help with, it's an antiviral, and it's to help you get better. But there's a lot of negative press. Well, you shouldn't use it. It hasn't been proven. We don't know. The issue is time, because they don't have the time to figure out we don't know how long it will take for them to actually do a controlled study to understand how this actually works, because of course people are dying, and of course the president says, what do you have to lose? And I actually feel the same way. If it was me or my family member and they were sick, I have no doubt in my mind I would get that to them right away. And I would actually agree with the president. I would take it myself. Why not? I mean, if you look at the odds, you have nothing to lose. If my doctor says it's okay, obviously you have to talk to your doctor and get that approved and telling you that, yes, it's okay for you to use this drug. So that's something I would do. Andrew Cuomo, who's the governor of New York, mentioned yesterday that the use of hydrochloroquine anecdotally, I'm not saying that correctly, is a positive impact on some of the patients in New York. So, in other words, he's stating it does work. So, it's working. I don't have any data to show, but I'm sure over a period of time we'll get some really good data. Another thing Donald Trump talked about today, which I thought was really good news, because if you've been staying on top of the whole story of how coronavirus got started and what's going on behind the scenes, you do know that the World Health Organization back in January stated that coronavirus could not be transmitted from human to human. And obviously, that's wrong information because, back in January. And the president announced today he's going to put a hold on the funding to the World Health Organization because he wants to understand why they gave him not so good information. Was it because they didn't have the information? Is it because they withheld information? Is it the Chinese? We don't know. This is a story that's continuously to unfold, but it'd be interesting. And if it was you and you were paying someone to provide a service to you, like the president, and they fail, would you continue paying them? Probably not, correct? Like if someone was fixing your car and they did a lousy job, would you go back or pay them more money? You would not. You want your money, your hard-earned dollars, to be spent in a way that will help your life and add more value and give you something, because you work hard, we all work hard for every dollar we have, and you want to use that money that's productive and that you will get the results that you want. So that's another point the president talked about today. He also mentioned that they are adding, or he's requesting they add another $250 billion to the payroll program, which would be great. Obviously, it's working now, and they want to contribute and put more money in. So those are the kind of the three big notes that came out today. It's called the Paycheck Protection Program, and they want to, of course, give more money. So that's wonderful. Have you been practicing social distancing? Have you been doing the 6-foot rule? I do. In California, they decided to put arrows in the aisle, so that way you wouldn't pass up a person. Because I was having that problem too. You'd be in a grocery store and it's like one person here, one person here, one person there, and you really just want to scream because you've been told that it can spread through talking, and you're like, you see them talking, and you're like, oh my God. So I think this will help. I think the arrows will help. You can keep your 6 feet of distancing. I recommend wearing a mask. I've been wearing one. Believe me, it's not attractive. No, not attractive. Especially because I like to put on lipstick and I can't put on lipstick. So that shouldn't be the least of my worries. I know, but I put on a bandana. Or I put on a scarf. I have all kinds of different things that I put on. Depending on where I'm going, how long I'm going to be out is what I wear. You have to be conscious of germs. There was a really interesting thought and talk about gloves. Because if you use the gloves and you touch everything in the store, but then you get in the car and touch your hand on the gloves, you just contaminated yourself, your hands. And how are you going to wash your hands if you're in the car? So you don't want to do that. Or you use the gloves and then you put it on your steering wheel and that contaminates that. So maybe gloves to the grocery store maybe not be the best idea. It's totally up to you. I was doing it and it became a little bit awkward. So what I do is, of course, wash my hands before I go home. I have a hand sanitizer. I sanitize at home. I literally hand sanitize when I go in the store, while I'm in the store, when I leave the store, always sanitizing. But hand washing is much better, from what I've been reading, than hand sanitizer. So that's something to keep in mind. I also wipe down all the doors, knobs, everything. It is like a military execution. I take off all my clothes. I always wear something kind of drabby. Because I'll throw it in the washer, hot water, and I get rid of it. Shoes, I leave outside. I do whatever it takes to make sure those ugly little buggers, those germs, will not come in my house and hurt me and my husband. So do that. Be mindful. Be careful. And I recommend doing it. Obviously, I have family members. You probably have family members that don't believe in any of it. They think they're invincible. They're not going to get hurt. You just have to keep telling them. That's the only thing I can suggest doing. Don't give up. If they're your loved ones and you love them and you care about them, keep reminding them that social distancing is the way to go. I recommend learning a lot about hydrochloroquine, because if someone in your family does get sick, you know enough about this medication that you can help. And sometimes you gotta know what's going on very quickly. You don't have a lot of time. So the more knowledge you have, the better it is to help you or your family member. And if it's you, I recommend that you do it instead of relying on someone else. Because you'll say, well, I'll talk to my other cousin. No, take the time, redo some research, and find as much as you can about hydrochloroquine. Because if it is helping people and saving lives, then it's well worth pursuing. I agree. Don't you agree? I agree. Oh, here's another cup real quick. So my husband keeps saying, hey, you got to be funny on this show. Well, I don't know how to be funny live, but I can be funny in person. So if you ever see me in person, I'm probably a lot funnier than I am on this show. But I love you guys. So I hope my love comes through. Maybe not funny, but a little love is good. Okay, so we did a little bit of that. We talked about coronavirus. We caught up on that. Let me go over it. Stays on surfaces too. This is really important. Aluminum, it can stay on for 2 to 4 hours. Surgical gloves, 8 hours. Steel, 48. Wood, 4 days. Glass, 4 days. Paper, 4 days. Plastic, 5 days. Another question someone came out, can it go on money and coins? It can. They just don't know if it really does transmit to someone. So I would be very careful. I mean, what do you have to lose? And just take your time and really understand what's going on. If you want to understand more what's going on or what our government is recommending that you do to stay safe, go to coronavirus.gov. It's everywhere on the internet. Over time, if you have trouble breathing, persistent pain and pressure in the chest, confusion, inability, do it. I would get to a hospital right away. I will call 911. I would do whatever it took to get this moving quickly. Stay healthy, diet, exercise, you know the whole bit. Another thing I do is I take herbs. Herbs. Now, which herbs? There's a lot of herbs. I recommend doing some research. I play around with it a little bit, and it's hard for me to recommend something because I don't want to be held responsible in case you take the wrong herbs and it doesn't work for your body and what you're doing. So it's important to do some research and learn a little bit more about it. It's well worth our time. Another thing that I'm interested in is we're interested in investing in, we're seeking gold mines, but not until May. So if you have a gold mine, and in Canada, specifically Canada, let us know. We're interested in that. Disruptive technology, we're also interested in. Now, you may ask, what is disruptive technology? It's a lot of different things. It can be in any of these categories, but it's something that affects millions of people's lives. So it has to be something like robotics or artificial intelligence or blockchain, something in a technical field that will impact people, that will affect millions of lives. Maybe I'm the person that can help. I don't know. But send me an email. Just send me a one-page summary. We'll get back to you in a couple of weeks. You can contact my assistant, Grayson K. White, at gmail.com. It's going to be posted on YouTube. And if you're watching me live on Periscope and Twitter, hello, hi, I'm live. You can get it there, that as well. But those are the two areas that we're focused on: disruptive technology and gold mines, Canadian gold mines. So if you know anyone who's selling a gold mine in Canada, reach out to us and let us know. Just to go back to the immune system, understand your immune system. If you have certain underlying conditions, understand how your body works. Your immune system, everything in your body starts with your stomach, which means your diet. So understand what you're eating, how is it affecting you. Are you sleeping enough? What are you doing? You have to analyze what works, what doesn't work, and you will figure it out. Okay. There's a few books that I love to always recommend that I think are very, very good. Now, this one is The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Now, the last 3 days, I also recommend these other 3 books: Think and Grow Rich, Power of Positive Thinking, and A Man Thinketh. What do all 4 of those books have in common? They have the word think. They have the word think. You have to think. You have to train your mind. You have to develop your analytical skills, the way you see the world, perception. You have to understand that the way you see the world is not the way everyone else sees it. You have to understand your mind and how it thinks. First step. So if you're interested in this book, I'm going to read a quick quote from you. It's called Power of the Subconscious Mind. Let me read it to you. It says, the treasure house is within you. Infinite riches are all around you, if you will open your mind, open your mental eyes, and behold the treasure house of infinity within you. There's a gold mine from with you that you can extract everything you need to live gloriously, joyously, and abundantly. Many are sound asleep. Don't be asleep. This is a time to wake up because they do not know about the gold mine of infinite intelligence and boundless love within them. Whatever you want, you can draw forth. A magnetized piece of steel with lift about 12 times of its own weight, and you can demagnetize it with the same steel, it will not. So, in other words, you magnetize people in your life, you magnetize opportunities in your life. Your mind is a guard. You pull that resource of energy into your life. If you're a negative person, if you're a fearful person, you bring and manifest that. So, it's important. Stay positive, stay mindful. So, all four of these books, I will send you a free ebook copy. All you need to do is email my assistant, Grayson, GraysonKY@gmail.com, and you have until Friday, April 10th to respond. April 10th is the deadline to respond if indeed you want any of these four books. A Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, and the power of your subconscious mind. Four books. Now, if you want all four, you got it. I'll send all four to you if you find them of interest. So, another thing I wanted to talk about, which I think is really interesting, is about life. Just like I'm reading it to you about the World Health Organization, here's this organization that everybody assumes has all the answers, and in the end gave us wrong information. And what that tells you is about people, bureaucracies don't always have your best interest at heart. You should always question where information comes from. If you see it on television, find out the resource. Question everything and everyone about everything. There's a story that you're told, and then there's the real story. It happens to me all the time in business, especially. People will tell me a story of what they need or what they're doing. And what I do is I have to dig underneath and find out the real story, because some people tell you the truth, some people kind of skim a little bit, and you need to find the truth, because when you have the truth, you can make a really educated decision. Without the truth, without those tools, you're sort of left in the dark. Right now, we're kind of in that kind of mode where we're sort of really dependent on the federal government because they're controlling our destiny. The whole economy is shut down, and it's affecting all of us. I'm one of those people. I want to get back to work. I know there's unfortunately a lot of people that are not going to make it. It's really, really horrible to think of, and quite honestly, shocking. But in the end, we still have a life to lead, and we still have to find our way forward. Another person to, if you like to learn a little bit more about this, idea of going back to work in the economy, getting the economy started, which I think is really, really important. Scott Adams, I don't know if you know him. Scott Adams is the creator and the writer for Dilbert, the cartoon. Oh my God, I just love it. But anyway, I started listening to him for maybe about a year ago, and he's just really insightful and has a real good pulse on everything. If you really want to see him, he has a YouTube channel. He's on Facebook. He's on Twitter, Periscope, and you can find out some information. And he had this whole discussion today about whether it's okay to go back to work. And it was a really interesting thing to think about, because that's where we're at. We're all in this together. My God, can you imagine we can go back to our normal lives? I will never take it for granted again. I know you won't either, just the simple things. I went on a hiking trail. I thought, okay, this hiking trail is way out of nowhere, right? Closed down. Who would have thought? A hiking trail, for Christ's sake. But anyway, we're all in the military. We're all into this together. We're sacrificing together. We love each other. We're like really bonding. Have you noticed all the celebrities now are not dressed down and they're in their home? It's the most interesting thing, isn't it? Especially when they don't wear makeup. I couldn't do it. You see, I have a full face of makeup, but you see them sitting at home and everything. So it'd be interesting when we all go back to work and quote unquote live a normal life. I don't know what that normal will be. I love going to the movies. My last movie I saw was Invisible Man. Nor didn't even think that would be my last movie to see in the theater. By the way, if you haven't seen Invisible Man, oh my God, it's such a great movie. You got to see it. I know they're putting it online. Go online. You can see it, Invisible Man. Very well done. Gotta see it. I think Elizabeth Moss' performance is really wonderful. She's in Handmaid's Tale, which is a very depressing show, by the way. I do watch it, very addicted to it. And she does another astonishing performance. She's really one of the best underrated actresses there are. I hope this opens her career up even more so because Elizabeth is worthy of Oscars and every accolation possible. See Invisible Man. It was really good. Had no idea. I see a lot of movies. In fact, I used to see 2 to 3 movies a week in the theater. That's how much I love going to the film, but I haven't been able to. And you're probably wondering, what is this Margaux with? You know, it all started with my husband. He's an actual business genius, by the way. And we just talked one day, and I said, honey, I think I want to do something to talk. Because, you know, as you notice, I like to talk and I like to drink wine. So he says, why don't you call it Margaux with Margaux? And I thought, God, that sounds kind of, am I with myself? Would people think Margaux was another version of myself? And I said, no, they could catch on. So that's how I came up with the idea of Margaux with Margaux. Brilliant. I owe it to the great mind behind. Oh, he's also my producer, set designer, director, and he's my biggest support. This guy, if you want to know unconditional love, this guy gives it in spades, and I absolutely adore him. He's just wonderful. For instance, if I'm cooking and I get really busy because I work a lot, he will pitch in, jump in immediately, and go to work and help cook. He's just the nicest guy. I'm so incredibly blessed to have him in my life, so I'd like to toast you, sweetheart James. Thank you. Mm. But we're going to talk about other stuff. Now, I'm thinking about talking about mental illness. And I'm thinking about talking about what to do with the loan programs and business and stuff that I think that can really help you. I know a lot of people are really suffering right now. Perhaps you have 2 kids at home, you don't have enough money. Just know that you're going to make it. You just have to know you're going to make it. Don't let this experience be soul crushing, which it can be. Hang in there. Just know that there's people out there that love and care about you. I did this show because I really wanted to do something positive and uplifting and really truly make a difference. I don't need to do it. It's just another thing for me to do. But I really wanted to do something that was impactful before I get my angel wings. Hopefully, I get my angel wings. And I could leave something behind that's positive and wonderful. So just know that you have talent, you are smart, and you're going to make it. Just hang in there. I know you're overworked. I know everything looks shitty and is crappy. Hang in there. Hang in there. Hang in there. You're going to get stronger. You're going to get better. It always does. Whenever something negative comes along, something positive awakens inside you. Isn't it true? Some strength that you didn't think you have. So be mindful. Just know that you're special. And at the end of the day, all these wonderful things can happen for you. Read some great books. Email me at graceandkwhite@gmail.com. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I just launched it yesterday, by the way. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Write some comments. If there's something about what I said tonight really inspires you, makes you frustrated, go ahead and tell me and let me know. Oh, one more note. I forgot to tell you this. I have what is called the hero of the day. And my hero of the day is Mr. Dorsey. I didn't write it in my notes. Boy, what did I do with it? Anyway, Jack Dorsey, the gentleman who created Twitter, is putting up $1 billion, which is 28% of his wealth. $1 billion to coronavirus relief. I want to applaud you, Jack. I think that's wonderful. I did a show yesterday to talk about wealthy people. It didn't matter how much, as long as you gave. And Jack, to give away $250 million is a lot, and it's easy for him to have kept $1 billion, honestly. But he obviously cares and loves and knows that we're all in this together, and he wants to put his money in for a good fight. And when you get a few $1 billion, there's so much wealth. You really have kind of an obligation to try to do and help other people. So hats off to Jack. Hats off to all of you that are out there. I want to thank all the doctors, the nurses, the people in the grocery store. When you see someone in the grocery store, try to get them a raise. If they go out of their way and do something, call their supervisor over. Say something nice. Do something wonderful for everyone that's out there working and sacrificing their lives because they're out there trying to take care of their family. Go out of your way. Hello. I send text messages to doctor friends in Europe, here in the US, all over, saying, I really appreciate your help. Show some love. Love, love, love. That's my motto. So I want to thank you for joining me for another wonderful episode of Margaux with Margaux. I love you guys. Take care. See you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you.